Back in the day, let's say about 35 years ago, I vividly recall a classic cousin caper. My cousin yanked her doll's arm off and immediately burst into tears, pointing the finger at me. My angel of an aunt swooped in, fixed the doll without a fuss, and returned it to my inconsolable cousin. There I stood, clutching my toy car, baffled that someone would sabotage their own beloved toy. Then the crying escalated. That's when it clicked. She was angling for a new doll and had whipped up this whole sob story to pull it off. By day's end, voila, she was the proud owner of a new Barbie. Hearing a certain piece of news today, I couldn't help but flash back to my cousin's nefarious plot.
We will tell you all about it. Before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate monetary news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. Okay, let's begin.
Following the discovery of Kiev and Washington's involvement in Moscow's Crocus city attack, Russia escalated its military actions against Ukraine. Initially targeting Ukrainian military installations, Russia expanded its focus to critical infrastructure, particularly targeting Ukraine's gas storage sites with missile attacks. Ukraine maintains a robust air defense system featuring a mix of Soviet era equipment like the SA 8, SA 10, and SA 11, and Western technologies including the Iris T, NASAMS, Aspide, and Gepard. These systems are engineered to intercept and neutralize incoming Russian missiles and drones. Despite these defenses, a Russian assault on April 11 targeted two major gas storage facilities near the Polish border, overwhelming Ukrainian defenses. The early morning attack resulted in substantial destruction, nearly obliterating Ukraine's coal based electricity generation capacity and highlighting critical vulnerabilities in Ukraine's defensive capabilities. Between December 2023 and February 2024, Ukrainian forces successfully intercepted about 60% of missiles during five significant Russian attacks. However, the interception rate decreased to approximately 50% in the three large scale strikes targeting Ukrainian energy infrastructure since March 2024. In two of these attacks, the interception rate fell below 50%. The consequence of these Russian strikes, which intensified after 22nd March, has been substantial damage to Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Several thermal and hydroelectric power plants have been either destroyed or severely impaired. These attacks disrupted about 80% of electricity generation from Ukrainian thermal power plants. On March 29th, the Washington Post reported that DTEK, Ukraine's largest private energy company, observed that recent Russian missile strikes have been more accurate and concentrated, resulting in greater damage to Ukrainian energy facilities compared to previous attacks. This escalation in the precision and impact of attacks underscores a significant increase in the challenges faced by Ukraine in protecting its critical infrastructure. Ukraine's recent failure to intercept Russian missiles targeting its energy facilities has raised concerns and speculation about the underlying reasons. Two primary explanations can address this issue. Firstly, Ukraine is facing a shortage of missiles and other missile defense systems. This shortfall has limited its ability to effectively defend against ongoing Russian missile strikes. Secondly, and more strategically, Ukraine has deliberately chosen not to protect its energy facilities. This decision is influenced by the significant role these facilities play in the European energy market, particularly in terms of gas storage. As of April 1st, European companies had approximately 750 million cubic meters of gas stored in Ukraine, valued at over 200 million euros. These facilities not only store substantial quantities of gas, but also provide a crucial safety valve for Europe, especially during times of market fluctuation and energy crisis. The importance of Ukrainian gas storage facilities became particularly evident during the COVID 19 pandemic in 2020, when global gas demand plummeted and markets could not absorb excess supplies. Ukraine's storage sites accommodated up to 10 billion cubic meters of gas. This capacity has been essential in stabilizing gas supplies for Europe, especially during shortages. For example, in 2022, as demand surged and supplies dwindled due to Russia's reduced gas exports to Europe, Ukrainian storage facilities played a pivotal role in mitigating the impact. Moreover, despite significant investments by European nations in new energy terminals since the 2022 energy crisis, there has been minimal expansion in storage capacity within Europe itself. This has positioned Ukraine as a critical provider of energy security for the continent. Consequently, any disruptions to these facilities, such as those from recent attacks, can lead to immediate and substantial economic repercussions. For example, there is now a 10% hike in European gas prices following the attacks. The implications of these attacks are concrete and have manifested in real time economic pressures, including heightened energy prices and potential risks of another energy crisis. This situation occurs at a time when European governments are keen on reducing energy costs to combat inflation and alleviate the cost of living crisis. Ukraine's decision not to intercept some Russian missiles is a strategic move by Zelensky to prompt Europe and the US to increase financial and military support to Ukraine. By allowing energy prices to rise, Zelensky aims to incentivize European nations to enhance their support to Ukraine. Following these events, NATO Chief General Jens Stoltenberg indicated an urgent review of the situation, suggesting that this strategy might be influencing international responses. Quite cunning. But will the West act like my aunt and give the wailing kid a new Barbie doll, or simply ignore the loud sobs? I don't know, because Zelensky passes his joint to unsuspected Western leaders and they get really high and then they do stupid stuff. Look at what Switzerland is doing after smoking Zelensky's very potent stuff. Stoned, completely stoned. Watch this report.